We are on to the semifinals of the 2019 Iolani Classic with a number of nationally ranked teams left on the schedule, including 2 ranked in the Max Prex Epsilon 25. The Wasatch Academy Tigers ranked number 17. The Long Island Lutheran Crusaders ranked at number 11. And we welcome you to our continuing coverage of the 2019 Iolani Classic on BallerTV. Alongside the coach, Dean Shimamoto, I'm Josh Pacheco. It is great to have you with us tonight. Let's start with the Tigers out of Mount Pleasant, Utah. They have had 2 games, 2 very different results. The win over Tsinghua from China, in which they won 101-59. And then we watched them against Archbishop Wood. It was a tale of kind of 2 different games in a way. The hot start, they let Archbishop Wood back in. Things kind of spread out late in the game, but doesn't take away from the immense talent that the Tigers bring to the table.
Yeah, Wasatch is one of the best teams in this tournament. This is one of the semifinals that we expected to see Long Island Lutheran ranked higher in the initial USA Today preseason rankings, but Wasatch may be proving to be the better team thus far if it's any gauge by the earlier games here in the Iolani Classic. This group doesn't play a whole lot of guys, but man, they are talented.
Last night, 89-77 win, and one thing this team has done, an incredible shooting team. They've hit 26 threes so far in their 2 games in the Iolani Classic. That is the most of anybody here in the championship bracket. On the Long Island Lutheran side and head coach John Buck, they have played 2 immensely close games. It's not that often that when we talk about a team that gets here to the semifinals, they've won 2 games by a grand total of 9 points combined. Rare for a team at number 11 in the nation coming in at this point, but certainly battle-tested and ready for a team like Wasatch.
Yeah, for 2 straight games, we've seen them get better. We've seen them improve. They struggled the first night against local competition. Granted, against great local competition, they had a tough time against Kamehameha and had a tough time stopping guard Christmas Tongiai. And then last night they improved, though. They got better. They played against a tough Archbishop Wood team who grinded and grinded. Oh, sorry, that was the Wasatch Tigers. Long Island Lutheran played Garfield.
Yeah.
Garfield, you saw them in the last game, and they went up and down. They have talent, they have length, and another close game, but they did play a better brand of basketball. They shot free throws a whole lot better than the first night, and so if they improve again tonight, it should be another great matchup with Wasatch Academy.
19 of 25 from the free throw line last night, good for 76%. It still doesn't completely take away the game prior against Kamehameha. They're shooting just over 57% from the charity stripe. That's not much of charity here at the Iolani Classic. The Long Island Lutheran lineups in the backcourt, Hugo Bergstrom at 6 feet tall. The senior is joined by Rafael Pinzon, who had a very nice game last night. He's a junior standing at 6'5". And the straw that stirs the drink, Andre Curbelo, the senior at 6 feet 1 inches tall. Up front, they're going to go with the same thing they did last night in the quarterfinals. Kasper Klacek starts at 1 forward, and Teresa Traore will start at the other, the 6'8" junior. John Buck, a very energetic and young head coach for this Long Island squad. You go back to that starting lineup last night, they got Zedke coming off the bench. It seemed like that suited him fairly nicely coming off the bench. He was able to get 10 points off the pine, and Klacek certainly played well.
Yeah, overall, you got better performances from Klacek and a better performance from Zedke. Definitely better from the free throw line for him last night than from the first night. But you got double the performance with this lineup and the way this substitution went, so why not stick with it?
Wasatch Academy, David Evans' lineup has Richard Isaacs Jr. at 1 guard. He is a sophomore at 6'2". He is joined by Mike Saunders at 6 feet tall and Richie Saunders at 6 feet 5 inches tall. A really solid game from the senior sharpshooter a night ago. Up front, Leonardo Colomario put together a nice, well-rounded game last night. And then Caleb Lohner. What can't he do? He showed all of his skills in that 89-77 win. That's how the 5 lines up for the Tigers.
Wasatch leading, as you had mentioned, in the 3-point makes here in the tournament, and they have 26. It seems as though they could have made far more. Every one of those shots that these guys take, especially Saunders and Lohner, they all look like they're going in. And they are all shooters. At one point in the game, or at several points in the game, all five players on the floor had hit a three-pointer for the Wasatch team. So who do you guard? Who do you leave open? And really the answer is nobody.
I was about to ask you that question. You answered it for us.
Yeah, it's hard to find weaknesses. Really the only weakness maybe last night was they got a little tired. The pace that they started out to get on that 17-0 run maybe slowed a bit as they got slightly more fatigued.
A fairly packed house here at Iolani as we see Lohner and Traore getting ready to tip it up. And our opening toss is won by Wasatch Academy. Richie Saunders, an early baseline drive, bringing it out for Isaacs. And Saunders, the offensive rebound. Undefeated, 17th ranked in the Max Preps Excellent 25, 14-0 record coming into this semifinal matchup. Lohner's first touch. Lots of contact, no whistle. Saunders will have another offensive rebound. And Curbelo tracks down the loose ball and stays in bounds.
Attacking the basket right off the bat, trying to get to the rim because that's going to open up their three-point game.
Man defense from Wasatch Academy. Curbelo almost ran out of real estate. Pin zone for three, it's good. And they'll fix the netting 53 seconds in.
Wasatch will see a steady dose of Curbelo doing just that. You saw him make 2 drives to the baseline, always probing, eyes up, finding shooters, but also looking for an opportunity himself, and he likes to mix it up and does a great job of it.
Curbelo, the team's leading scorer, averaging just under 16 a game through the first 2 games. And speaking of Curbelo, he knocks it out. 17 on the shot timer. Lohner gets it at the wing. Not an easy look the way his body was set, but it rims out.
Thought he shot that a little quick. He had a mismatch there with Curbelo. May have wanted to muscle him in there and shot it. The turnaround with, I believe, 7 on the shot.
John Buck very vocal from the bench on the opposite side of the court, yelling out instructions. Traore, timer under 10. Curbelo, air ball, got it back though, and drops it as the shot clock expires.
So heady, always aware of time and situation. Was able to grab that rebound, still get it back up before the buzzer and knock it in.
Nice take to the rim for Colomario on his first touch offensively.
You look how far out Long Island Lutheran has to extend because of the shooting ability of Wasatch.
Curbelo, too high off the rim, and Richie Saunders hurries ahead. Turns and fires. And it will stay with Wasatch Academy. And we had an early timeout called by David Evans. Right now, Richie Saunders showing a lot of energy, 2 offensive boards. He gets in there and helps keep possession for the Tigers with the shot clock at 20 and 5:33 remaining in the quarter.
Yeah, to this point, I haven't seen Wasatch be as comfortable as they've been in the last 2 games. They seem to be sped up a little bit. That has a lot to do with the length and quality of defense of the Long Island Lutheran Crusaders. So you've seen a guy like Saunders, who's an incredible shooter, rush a couple. Same with Lohner, rush a couple. Really, we only had 1 great finish there, and that was by Colomario. But for the most part, not great looks. Not the looks that they're used to getting.
The way these teams match up, this is a different matchup for Wasatch that Long Island Lutheran brings, but it almost feels almost identical the way they square up against one another. Saunders goes toward the baseline and Isaacs. Rebound for Traore. And where we've seen Wasatch Academy put up a number lighting up the scoreboard in those 2 games, this seems like one where Both these teams could be held down a bit as Bergstrom misses from 15 feet away. Saunders with yet another rebound. Mike Saunders, hard to the rim.
Mike Saunders, when he turns the corner, he gets to the rim, and he is an incredible finisher.
It started 5-0. This has been cut down to a 1-point lead. Hemmed off at the baseline and a turnover. And Lohner running the floor. Couldn't get enough out of the air and came up a little gimpy. He's all right as he'll head to the free throw line of the first foul on Drisa Traore.
Looked like a little misstep there by Lohner, attempting to go up and dunk that, but his leg maybe a misstep or gave out and wasn't able to get the lift that we're used to seeing out of Lohner.
29 last night, 3 trays, went 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Just a phenomenal effort. Zed Key enters for the first time, replacing Drisa Traore. But it's almost hard to put in the right package of words the complete skill set that Lohner has. The outside shot, I think the thing that gets me the most, and we've talked about it several times, off the dribble stuns me and impresses me more than anything else I think he does. His quick step is phenomenal as the lay-in from Pinzone drops.
Pinzone, one of my favorite players over the last 2 or 3 days.
Traveling.
So versatile, able to get jumpers, threes, goes to the rim, plays great defense. Very much like Saunders on the opposing side. They're major guys for each of these teams.
Pinzone off the screen. That's out of it strong. Lohner the rebound and the quick outlet. That's good for Colomario from 3. He's got 5 early on. And up ahead, Key gets ahead of everybody in the easy flush around Lohner. Zed Key shows a lot of awareness going up and down the floor. Transition game, he is sneaky. You gotta watch for him. Mike Saunders looking for space. He'll get it back and fire. Tracked down by Curbelo. Underneath Key. And 1.
Key's house is 3 feet from the paint. Whether he's getting on a hard post, or he's working for an offensive rebound, or he's getting a dish or a run out or a dump, within 3 feet, he uses that big body to block off his opponent, seal him off, and get easy finishes.
Free throw good. This may be the first matchup all tournament that Caleb Lohner may struggle with. And that is Key, not just near the post, but Key not that bad from the perimeter. But Lohner, thanks to help defense, force it away. Lohner with the stuff. Curbelo. And now the pace picks up. Lohner left open.
From dunk to 3.
All in the matter of about 20 seconds or less. Curbelo traveling. If the pace stays this way, where it's a little more up and down, a little quicker, who does that favor?
I really don't know. I know Wasatch is used to playing at that pace. Maybe a lot more. They don't play a lot of guys. That's a tough call.
Moving screen on Lohner. That's 2 on him. That's going to be key to watch, especially, as you said, Wasatch not necessarily deep to their bench. But Lohner's going to stay in there for now. And let's see if Long Island Lutheran decides offensive foul on Key. I was just about to say, let's say if they highlight that matchup, it goes against Key there, though.
Lohner so heady. Stepped right in front of Key, drew that one. Maybe a little bit of a extra. I wouldn't call it a flop. Well, maybe I would call it a flop. But he got the call. Whatever it takes.
2:20 left in the quarter. Bergstrom on Saunders' back. Richie Saunders off the mark. One of the few times Richie's really wide on that shot. He has been a sharpshooter all classic. No call, and the bucket for Krawcheck. That gives Long Island Lutheran the lead back on the claw. Check 2. Underneath, easy bucket for Traore. Fouche Traore's first points.
If Traore on the other end had actually taken the contact, it would have been a for sure charge, but it looked like he was falling backwards before the contact was made, thus the no call.
Key has it off the bounce. No whistle there, shot misses. Isaacs, Bergstrom collapses quickly, but he'll get around Key, misses. Traore second chance, no. Loose ball comes out to Bergstrom and bodies down on the other end. Curbelo slapped off the backboard by Saunders. Mike Saunders running right into Bergstrom and will draw the personal.
Pace is one thing, but physicality is another. You see bodies flying all over the place, trying to get in front of guys in transition, banging and bumping, going for loose balls. And while pace will make you tired, physicality will double that.
I haven't seen, at least in the championship bracket round, going back to the last few possessions on the other end of the court, where they've let some of that contact underneath go. It seems like it's been whistled every single time. Not so much here. Traore stumbles with his feet, gets it out for 3. Colomario, air ball.
Yeah, I agree. This is a lot looser called game, and you know, all you're really looking for as a coach, you don't care tight, you don't care loose, as long as it's consistent, and it's been consistently loose, which is fine. So this mimics much more of a college-type atmosphere, college-type called game.
35 seconds left in the first quarter. Curbelo looking for Key. He'll drive instead. That is swatted, but I believe Colomario might get called for the body contact. They're not. They're going to give that to Fouche Traore.
I believe he caught him with the body as he went up there for the block. Little tough call. Thought he might have gone straight up, but some of that action banging into each other led to that call.
Curbelo averaging 15.5 a game here in the Classic. First one off the right side of the iron. 72.2% from the free throw line in the first 2 games.
If we were tracking assists, he would be right up there, you know, among the top guards here in the Iolani Classic.
Probably the way this Classic is going, I've got to believe he's a lock for the all-tournament team.
Absolutely.
Move it around for Isaacs Jr. Clock down to 8. Mike Saunders, big steps and stuffed by Krawcheck. But he throws it out of the reach of pin zone. Back to Wasatch Academy with 1.8 remaining on the clock. Isaacs the heave. And a tight first quarter, as expected. 17-16, Long Island Lutheran. Back with more of the Iolani Classic on BallerTV. A lot of the students at Iolani and across the island filling up the stands here at the Iolani Classic. As we get ready for the second quarter, it is 17-16 Crusaders ahead of Wasatch Academy, as a lot of hoops fans across the island ready to take in some of the best in high school basketball across the nation here on the island of Oahu. 1 quarter in, it's been Wasatch's biggest challenge, but what has Long Island Lutheran done so well in the first 8 minutes?
They've taken what's been given to them, and that's a big thing. I mean, important thing, and that's because of point guard and floor general, Curbelo. When the floor is spread, he looks to attack the middle and find shooters, and if not, he finishes at the rim. He's doing it all for the Long Island Crusaders.
Clawcheck will take it to the rim. Lohner can't do much, and Clawcheck scores at the goal. That's the big story with
stuck with the 2 fouls. Absolutely.
This time a different assignment. Clawcheck is on Lohner, not Zed Key. Isaac straight on. Out of bounds back to Wasatch Academy.
Isaacs has taken a few tough jumpers there. I'd like to see him be more patient, find some of his shooters out there on the perimeter with an attack to the basket.
Interesting defensive change as the quick 2 from Brennan Rigsby's no good, and Key comes up with the rebound. Do you feel like that's to keep Key out of foul trouble with that matchup with Lohner? He's got 1.
Potentially, but they do switch it quite a bit, so
Jaden Reed,
you may see different matchups as the possessions go on.
Speaking of Zed Key, right there to finish up off the miss.
Ohio State commit playing Big Ten basketball, big on the inside, finishing on the inside.
Isaacs wanting the basketball, he gets it. Rigsby quick fire. In and out. Traore comes up with a loose ball and back out to Isaacs. Deep for Lohner. Key comes up with a rebound. Clawcheck in the starting lineup for the 2nd consecutive game. Now here's Zed Key at the baseline. Falls short. Rebound for Leonardo Colomario. Nobody stops ball. Kick out to Isaacs. Reed collapses, and Reed gets the steal. 3 on 2 the other way. Colomario stuffs it, and Key will finish.
There's Key again, picking up the rubbish, getting the finish.
7-point lead. Lohner behind the back. Challenged and fouled by Clawcheck.
That's the foul Lohner has to be worried about. He did a great job of changing directions as Curbelo got in the way. It's that offensive foul is the one that you forget about when you go into the game with 2 and don't want to pick up that 3rd. You think about defense most times, but it's the offensive end where you can often pick up that dreaded 3rd foul in the first half.
You could see referee Eric Morales as he was describing the foul with the hand just below the wrist where the contact came. Lohner playing with 2 fouls, trying to keep himself in the game, and Wasatch certainly will need him in the game. Hits the 2nd. He's got Clawcheck in the perimeter. Curbelo off the dribble. Long rebound though, goes out to Traore. Knocked in the air, Traore gets it back. Curbelo around the rim. And up ahead, Rigsby, that's knocked out by Curbelo. On that other end, you could thank Drissa Traore for keeping the play alive.
Wasatch likes to play with a lot of pace, but I think they may be more effective if they're able to slow it down just a bit and find some of the mismatches after Long Island Lutheran switches.
Cameron Waits is in for Wasatch Academy, so a big lineup here with Waits at 6 feet 11 inches tall. No good for Rigsby. Loose ball to Mike Saunders. And Waits with his first touch in the corner. Lob Lohner. Almost a shame we didn't see him in the dunk contest last night.
Would have been nice to see Lohner in there.
Lead cut down to 6, 4:49 remaining in the half. Clawcheck finds Curbelo. A little too strong, Waits the rebound. Colomario in the lane, and Saunders will fire. Rebound out to Curbelo, and up ahead Reed. Off the bottom of the backboard. Tough take. Good
well
transition
defended.
defense.
Well defended. Straight up in the air. Couldn't make that call.
Curbelo whistled for the foul. That's his first. That will pause action here with 4:19 in the half, and I believe we'll see a timeout used by Long Island Lutheran with 4:19 remaining in the first half. As advertised, we expected a good semifinal with these two teams matched up against one another, and we've gotten it. And we're seeing certainly really interesting coaching here in the first almost 12 minutes of this game, especially with the lineups David Evans is playing with, going big really for the first time in the Iolani Classic.
Yeah, we haven't seen them have to use their size. They were able to beat teams on the perimeter by being, I guess, relatively small, with Lohner playing the big position. But with him in foul trouble, he can't defend someone inside like Zed Key as effectively, having to stay back. Because a guy like Zed Key at 6'8", you have to lean on him a bit. You have to use your body to bump, but you also put yourself at that risk of picking up that third foul. So they had to bring in a couple bigger bodies on the defensive end to handle that.
You saw Oak Hill just a moment ago. They are getting ready for the second semifinal coming up. Tip-off a little after 8 p.m. with Oak Hill getting ready to take on the Jefferson Democrats. Meantime, good first semifinal as Lohner prepares to inbound. Lohner, Mike Saunders, Leonardo Colomario, Richie Saunders, and Cameron Waits on the court for the Tigers out of Mount Pleasant, Utah. Saunders, baseline runner. And the rebound to Hugo Bergstrom. Pin zone quickly to the rim. Loose ball, popped high in the air. There's Lohner snatching it. Saunders off of Curbelo. Or they're going to call foul on Curbelo, actually, and that's his second. It's one of those 50-50 plays with guys coming together inside the paint.
The speed that Waits comes at, that Saunders comes at, it's so hard to stay in front of him and still get a stop.
So Curbelo's got to come out, and Jaden Reed re-enters. Richie Saunders has the inbound. Waits, Key goes down to the ground, no call, goaltend. I think we all could see that that was a flop, and the referees didn't bite.
Waits is such a big boy. If he hit me like that, it wouldn't be a flop. I would be into the pad in the back of the gym.
And seeking medical attention at that.
Yeah, no, Zed Key's a big guy. Waits makes him look small.
Reed off the pick. Bergstrom from the corner. Key trying to get the loose ball. Kicked around like a hockey puck. Hell ball, possession. Gives it to Wasatch Academy.
Closeout's more disruptive in a game like this. You have greater athleticism, closing speed. Hands are up higher, and you see great shooters like Bergstrom and Saunders on Wasatch missing, and not just missing close. Some of them are bad misses, but they are really great shooters. But I guess in the first two nights, the defense wasn't quite the same as what you're seeing here.
Everything's been elevated at this point. Richard Isaacs Jr. back into the ball game, finding Richie Saunders. Waits backing it on Key. Put a battle of two big men, and Waits will get it to drop.
I believe that was Traore came in.
Yeah, you're right, that is Traore. Fouche Traore. That's still a good matchup regardless. That's knocked out by Colomario.
There's great footwork there by Traore in the post. Key was giving him bumps, but he locked that foot around the left side and was able to get that little short right-handed hook to go.
See if Pinzon takes a little bit more of a role here offensively with Curbelo off on the bench. Foul on the drive. Richie Saunders picks up the foul. Kasper Klocek was in the dunk competition last night. 11 points. Came into the starting lineup last night, and we saw the difference that was made, and gets in the starting lineup again tonight.
Klocek, an impressive athlete, long and can get up. In the first day, he was doing dunks that you only see on Instagram. And unfortunately, he had such a productive day with the team that I don't think his legs were all the way there in the dunk contest. So I didn't think we saw the full Klocek that we were seeing on the first day with fresh legs. But I mean, he's here to win a championship, so his contribution on the court during the games is far more important.
Even with that, it was still impressive to see some of the hops he was able to get in that dunk competition. Colomario with Klocek right in front of him hits the three.
Colomario has been the defense. You look at him has been the difference. You see him not just hitting threes out here, but defensively he's picked up Pinzon. He's switched off onto Curbelo. His length is disruptive.
Klocek will try again, but he doesn't have possession. And it's out to Jaden Reed. That's a tough two, and it spins in.
My first thought was, where's the little guy going?
2-point lead for Long Island Lutheran. Isaacs for the lead. Rebound poke to Richie Saunders. Down to the final 80 seconds of the first half. Isaacs, Saunders the triple try. And the lead for the Tigers.
He will not miss those. He will not miss those. We call those inside out looks because you're facing the basket. You don't have to turn. You're squared. You see the rim. That's a practice shot for him.
First few of those didn't drop in the first quarter. Klocek loses it again. And the possession arrow keeps it with the Crusaders. Once he gets that going consistently like he did the first 2 days.
It's really about the quality of look. I mean, the better look you get, the better opening that your teammates are able to find you in, the percentage just go up.
Under a minute. Pinzon couldn't handle it. 4-on-2. Isaacs pushing the pace. Long Island Lutheran wanted a travel call, wouldn't get it. And up ahead, Key's not looking for the ball. Traore comes up with it. Mike Saunders. Lead now 6, and what a turn of events as a timeout is taken by Long Island Lutheran.
Wasatch pushing that pace, finding guys in transition. That is what they like to do. I don't know whether or not they can keep it up for the whole game. And you said, who does the pace favor? And in that scenario, when you get those type of openings with these types of shooters and these types of finishers, it's going to favor Wasatch in this scenario.
At one point, Long Island Lutheran was up a couple of possessions. It was that Richie Saunders three that gave Wasatch Academy the lead really about 50 seconds ago, maybe. It went from a 1-point lead, has ballooned now to 6. With two good teams ranked in the top 17 in the nation, it's those little swings that you've got to make sure you don't allow to happen often in games like this.
Yeah, as the game goes by, players will get fatigued. You're not going to run back quite as hard as you were early on. And when you have those openings and you have guys on Wasatch that want to attack the basket, Isaacs loves to attack, and you could see it there. They're confident finishers, but they're also great at finding guys on the perimeter.
Shot clock and game clock nearly identical. Pinzon. Reed will try now. And a 3-second violation. Key was stuck in the lane. And the shot clock will turn off with 17.2 left in the half.
While Wasatch has made this run, where was Curbelo?
That's a key point. Mike Saunders, Isaacs for the half. And while they don't get the make, they close out the first half strong. A 34-28 lead for Wasatch Academy going into the locker room. Second half coming up in a few. We'll be back with more with the Iolani Classic on BallerTV. (34-28). Wasatch Academy with the lead at the half on Long Island Lutheran as the second half getting ready to commence shortly at the 2019 Iolani Classic. Back with Dean Shimamoto. I'm Josh Pacheco. This was an interesting first half. We know that Long Island Lutheran has been accustomed to close games. They've played 2 of them so far here in the Classic. Wasatch, so-so. Kind of a close game yesterday. Not really in their first day. But so far, despite the foul trouble that Caleb Lohner's played through, he's their leading scorer, and they've gotten a little bit of help to help push them to the 6-point halftime lead.
Yeah, Triori and Waits have done a good job of coming in and filling in. We hadn't even seen Waits on too many occasions so far here in Hawaii, and his big body, as soon as he got in, kept Zed Key off of the board, and that's where Zed Key was doing a lot of damage on the offensive, getting offensive rebounds and finishing tight on the inside. But when you have 6'11" Waits in there, he's a tough guy to get around.
Waits with 2 off the bench. Leonardo Colomario, 8 points, 2 trays in the first half, 5 for Mike Saunders. On the other side for Long Island Lutheran, you mentioned Andre Curbelo's foul trouble. That's important. He's got 7 points. He's 1 of 2 from the foul line. But you feel like what he could bring has been kind of dampened a little bit.
The late run by Wasatch was while Curbelo was on the bench. And it's not because Curbelo is a stunning defensive player. He's a good defensive player, but the way that Wasatch was scoring was in transition. They were turning misses and they were turning stops into opportunities. And when Curbelo is on the offensive end, he creates great opportunities and better opportunities for Long Island Lutheran. And it prevents those quick runouts, either because you're making a basket or because it's a more quality shot. So Curbelo on the floor for Long Island is incredibly important, and I'm sure we'll see that difference as soon as this half starts with him out there.
Zed Key leading Long Island Lutheran with 9 points. By the way, we've talked about Wasatch and their ability to hit the 3-point shot. 26 in the Classic coming in, 5 in the first half. Make that 31. And the Tigers will have it to start the second half. Richie Saunders, Mike Saunders, Richard Isaacs Jr., Leonardo Colomario, and Caleb Lohner on the floor in white. They're looking for Richie Saunders off a few screens, has it, and throws it away. Klawczek stepped in front. Key is in the lineup to start the second half. You can already see the battle with Lohner. Can't score there off the right side.
Would like to see Key make a stronger move in there, maybe get a shoulder into a chest.
Key the block. Back to Wasatch. Key with 1 foul. Lohner playing with 2. They're matched up with each other once again. Lohner out to Richie Saunders. Lohner taps it out to Mike Saunders. Got away with a little jump. The shot clock expired, but that's going to have to change.
Touch on the Richie Saunders jumper there. Should have reset.
I think they said 18. I think is what Eric Morales has said to the scorers table. And that's exactly what it will be. Gives a moment for Going to change off some of the, or that where you put your feet down right in front of the scores table.
Cleans off the shoes,
Yep.
keeps them nice and sticky.
Taking off one of the sheets there. There's a foul. That'll send Richie Saunders to the line.
Great curl there by Saunders. An even better find for the lefty finish, drawing that foul.
Pinzone's first foul. Richie Saunders hit 3 trays last night. He's got 17 points. What you saw from him on that play is something that David Evans has been working with him on over the summer. The dribble penetration, his ability to pass. You saw his penetration to the rim, forcing contact as the free throw is good.
Richie Saunders has been off the mark just a bit from long range, but no better way to get on track than to shoot 2 free throws uncontested.
Key in the perimeter. Curbelo has it with 9. In the runner. Got it. 9 for Curbelo.
That's the Curbelo difference. Really nothing there, but he created that. He created that action, split the double off the high ball screen. 12-foot floater.
Long range. No good for Mike Saunders. And Curbelo will bring it back. Tried to find Key, but Lohner was still there in the right spot. Colomario! And Klawczek can't believe he was called for that foul. Oh, what a challenge.
Wow. He took off, and Klawczek met him in midair.
He thought he had it clean. I think because of that, emotionally tried to state his case. If you're an official, that is such a difficult one to have to legislate just because of the way that looks in the air at the end of the day. Credit to him, he's got a little bit of a smile and says, all right, got my hand up, it's on me.
Yeah, he's one of those, he's using one of those, oh, you can't call that. That was 80% unbelievable. Don't call the 20%, that was kind of a foul.
8-point lead for Wasatch Academy. Key will try from distance. Can't unlock the 3. Colomario the board.
I don't think Wasatch has any problem with him being out there away from his sweet spot next to the rim.
Saunders to the rim. What a stuff by Key. Lohner will put it back. One thing these two teams can do, they can meet their opponents on the way up. Bergstrom. Key's gonna be called, getting Lohner out of his way. That's 2 on the Ohio State commit.
You saw Lohner there on that last possession doing a bit of a Key impression, cleaning up the mess and finishing it on the inside from that 3-foot sweet spot.
Wasatch Academy with its biggest lead sitting at 10. About 5:15 remaining in the third quarter. Saunders to Saunders and now Isaacs. Richie Saunders, nice slip underneath. And Klawczek put on a poster.
Hello, Mr. Lohner.
He was not alone at the rim. Curbelo, a little too strong, Lohner the rebound. Isaacs no look, but Pinzone was there in Key, and Curbelo running the floor. Andre finishes it up. But now the pace picks up again. Wasatch thinks better of things and slows this one down. Isaacs, quick fire. Clock check the board. Isaacs has been cold tonight. Curbelo turns on the Jets. Rebound Colomario. 4 on 3. Saunders the extra pass. And there's Isaacs from distance. 13-point lead as the Tigers call for time.
Wasatch there with another great controlled break. Kicked it out to Saunders, and Saunders swung it to Isaac, trusting his teammate who has struggled thus far from long range, but said, I know you can knock this down. This is gonna be a wide open one. This is all you, and I'm gonna give you that opportunity, and he did just that.
It's really been from about the 2 to 3 minute mark in the second quarter. That's really where Wasatch Academy took control of this game, and they've held firm to that. In fact, kind of extended that out here at this point.
They've gotten it every which way also. A lot in transition. Those have been the flashier ones, but they got it on a half-court set. You saw Lohner there with the punch, but that came off of 2 curls by Saunders, 1 to the rim. Then he came back off the right side, curled back again toward the basket, and drew key and dropped it off, and Klacek contested, and you saw what happened on that one.
See how the Crusaders trying to find their way back. Klacek key behind everybody around the rim and down for 2.
Credit the back screen there by Bergstrom. And then the find.
Hope that will quiet the Tigers' momentum. Saunders, not an easy one, but he banks it home. Paul Jordan wearing number 14, seeing his first run for Long Island Lutheran. Curbelo, 2 hands put on him. He draws the foul as he was trying to maneuver his way around 3 defenders. Richie Saunders gets his second foul.
Paul Jordan right into the game, and Mike Saunders squared him up and said, hey, you can't guard me. Went straight to the hole. I mean, it was a tough shot. Great contest, but he knocked it down.
Inbound to Key. Curbelo lost it. Mike Saunders. Oh, that's a collision and a foul. They may get Jordan. He was the first to make contact. And indeed will be the case. Paul Jordan's first.
Mike Saunders is lightning. He got that maybe by the box on the opposing side and was up into the front court finishing a layup. Speed.
Yeah, some might say they'll think better of it. That's a fearless drive.
He's been doing that the whole time. He goes to the rack, he goes hard.
He entered the Iolani Classic as his team's leading scorer, averaging 17.8 points per game and 4 dimes a contest. But I think we've seen over the course of this Classic that it's not necessary for him to put up 17 a game for his team to be successful. Colomario thought about it. Isaacs will launch. 2 in a row for the sophomore guard from distance.
Saunders trusted him on that corner 3 moments ago, and that may have gotten Isaacs going because he shot that one with confidence.
Curbelo. He made that contact from Colomario that will send him to the line.
Great recognition by Curbelo, recognizing the situation. 16 points. His team hadn't had a lot of good possessions, and he said, I'm just going to manufacture an opportunity here. Cut right in front, stopped, got him leaning, and drew the shooting foul.
12 now for Curbelo. And that leads the team. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Zed Key's got 11. It's 50-35.
Pinzone just into the game, and we haven't seen much out of him today. He's been quietly productive in the first 2 games, but really has been just quiet without the production in this one.
Isaacs, I beg your pardon, can't get 3 in a row. But look at Curbelo reach up in the air and grab the rebound. Smooth guard Curbelo is. Pinzone looking in. That's poked into the hands of Colomario. Splits through two defenders, but he was only able to do so because he traveled.
These long steps, the Euro steps, it's hard to figure out when those are travels because it's determined by when you gather, when you get your possession and two hands on the ball. Referee Brandy Richardson saw her put that signal up. That was 3 steps. It was too many.
Brandy as good as it gets, along with Mikey Shikawa and Eric Morales, our officiating crew. 3 from Bergstrom. He needed one to drop, and it does there.
Yeah, that's what he does, finding his sweet spot in the corner there.
Richie Saunders. And now Lohner. Extra pass for Isaacs. And the loose ball, last touch by Pinzone. That almost seemed to have a little bit of a weird spin that he couldn't handle. $20 on the timer. Lohner leaning on Key. And Saunders with yet another offensive board. I think that's at least 4 for him. Key again changes that shot. And Curbelo coming back a 5-on-5. But great defense from the backside by Isaacs. And Mike Saunders off to the races. Key was too late.
Went up on the left side, but with the right hand kind of snuck it in there. But was able to get the 2 points, get it to fall.
14-point lead for Wasatch Academy. Curbelo wanted to find Key, couldn't, takes the 3 instead, and it goes out of bounds. Key seemed to have position, then Lohner came over his right shoulder, got his arm in, and made it impossible for any kind of a pass into the post.
When you're defending the post, if you're working hard, you're jumping from side to side, you're working the front, it makes it difficult for the offensive post player to get deep position, and it makes it difficult to throw the entry pass. And you saw Caleb Lohner working there, and that caused maybe a settle in a long shot.
Isaacs. His confidence has grown immensely in the third quarter. Biggest lead of the game for Wasatch Academy.
Just a sophomore, but taking a tough one, just like Curbelo on this end, but he's been the guy. He's been the assertive one, Isaacs.
Curbelo. Lohner challenges the shot. Can Mike Saunders get it off in midair? And while it doesn't go, the Tigers keep the momentum rolling into the fourth quarter. It's a 16-point lead in the semifinals of the Iolani Classic on BallerTV. Getting ready for the fourth quarter here at the 2019 Iolani Classic as you see Iolani royalty. That's Derek Lowe. That's basketball royalty. Derek Lowe, Jason Bandequit standing right next to each other in Iolani Classic gear, watching two phenomenal teams as the fourth quarter gets underway.
Yeah, two state players of the year, former state players of the year, and you're seeing two of the top teams in the country go against each other here.
16-point lead, Curbelo trying to change that as smooth lay-in drops.
He seems to make something out of nothing. There really didn't look to be much on that drive, but threaded his way in there and knocked that shot in.
Foul on Colomario's drive. And that will go against Pinzone. It's his second. This has been a particularly tough one. Foul trouble kind of got him, did Curbelo in the second quarter. And the long reach and speed of that Wasatch Academy defense has really held him in check for the most part.
Yeah, Wasatch has done a really good job of playing at their pace.
Lohner taking the drive out to Colomario. Triple try. Doesn't get a lot of the rim, but will get a foul call against Saunders. And Richie Saunders has his third foul.
Saunders was working there for that offensive board on the weak side, but grabbed some hips and threw them out of the way. Those are the ones maybe you hope they don't see and just make it fall under the category of, oh, they're just working hard, incidental contact, but that was more than incidental, and referee Mike Ishikawa caught that.
Colomario, patience, and right to the rim, looking for contact.
There you see him again, Curbelo, something out of nothing.
He has engineered a 4-0 start to start the quarter. Lohner long from three. And let's see what Curbelo's got up his sleeve. Patience is what he's got up his sleeve. Lohner may have touched that one out. What's the call? He did. It'll stay with Long Island Lutheran.
You can see it on every possession. He's working hard to try and side front, get a touch, because he knows once Zedkey gets it that deep, he's in trouble.
Curbelo throws it off of Lohner's back on the inbounds and draws the horn.
Among the craftiest point guards that we've seen here at the Classic, not just this year, among any years. He's the one that's leading this team. He's the one that's driving this car. We talked about that in a few games earlier, but he makes everything go.
It is a 5-0 run, all engineered off of Curbelo's right hand to the goal. Lohner the board. That inbounds play you really can do just once. And I mean once, maybe like a month if you really like it. Saunders for three. Key, nice box out. But you gotta know when the time is right, and Curbelo, as smart as they get. Jaden Reed, the freshman, gave a run last night. Teardrop short. Another kid with a lot of upside. Mike Saunders slows it down. Over 2 minutes to lapse in the fourth. Curbelo overplays. Saunders will try again. Gets his own miss. And he knew it missed by the time it left his hands.
Great shooters, they shoot so many shots. They know when it feels wrong, and he saw it. He was rushing to the rim as soon as it left his hand.
Curbelo, why not? He has scored all 8 in the quarter for Long Island Lutheran. It's down to 10 with 5:31 remaining.
Curbelo's been doing everything he can, and that's been classic Curbelo in the Classic. And Zedkey's more or less been the guy that we expected him to be, and we saw the production last game, and we're seeing it again today. But we noted it yesterday in the Long Island Lutheran game, and we said, what was the difference? And the difference was guys like Jaden Reed contributing, guys like Kasper Klacek contributing, Rafael Pinzone quietly getting points and doing great things, but you're not seeing that today. the production from those guys was so great and was so high yesterday is not there today, and I think that accounts for maybe this 10-point differential.
You're looking at that Wasatch Academy bench trying to hold on to a 10-point lead. It seems like even though Richie Saunders cleaned up that miss, he has been cold from outside the arc. Lohner hasn't really gotten going in a little while, although he's played through foul trouble and has kept his way in the game. But right now, it's who can carry the mantle and push this back up.
Yeah, right now it's been a one-man show here on the Long Island Lutheran side. It's been Curbelo and really nobody else.
Colomario, Isaacs, who had a good third quarter, Richie Saunders, Mike Saunders, and Lohner on the court for the Tigers from Mount Pleasant, Utah. Mike Saunders, Isaacs at the angle. Didn't have a lot of leg on it. Chance to get to single digits. And Lohner is called for foul number 3.
Referee Eric Morales nearly got posterized there by Zed Key. Zed Key thought better of it and held back.
Curbelo, taller defender on him, turns, loses it, gets it back. My goodness, what determination.
He's some kind of magician. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how half of these shots are going in, how he's getting to the rim with 3 guys in front of him. He's a magician.
He has scored all 10 Long Island Lutheran points in the fourth quarter. Richie Saunders to the rim.
Same set there by Wasatch. You see the double curls by Richie Saunders. First one, they got the layup. Second one, they got the dunk by Lohner. And then Saunders got it and finished himself on that one.
Curbelo, not that time. Lohner trailing the play. What's the call? A traveling violation on Lohner.
Too eager to get to the rim, got a running start before he put it down. He saw that dunk happening before he started his dribble, and the referee caught him with the travel.
That will be left off the highlight reel with 4:05 to go. 58-48. And Pinzone wasn't expecting it at that point. One of the rare mistakes in this quarter, and one of the rare times Curbelo didn't have it in his hands.
Curbelo's gas tank has got to be running low. You saw it on that last finish. You know, he wasn't getting the lift that he was getting early, and you can see him breathing pretty hard. And I think he was hoping that Pinzone was going to be able to handle that last possession.
Richie Saunders off the screen, didn't have it cleanly. Ball goes to the floor, and a timeout taken by Wasatch to keep possession. What I think you might want to ask the question about, and I don't know if they will, the shot clock did initially reset to 28. They've brought it back down to 11. And I do want to see, in fact, the officials are talking about it right now, if we can see them. Brandy Richardson and Mike Ishikawa are talking about whether the shot clock should have reset or if it will sit right now where it is at 11, or if they can find a happy medium. I don't think possession changed there at all.
I didn't think so either. I believe they're going to stick with 11 here, but I love seeing them talk it out. That's why you have 3 referees. Everybody's looking at this game from a different perspective and may have been watching a different thing, and they can confer with each other, even if it's going to stay the same, but at least they talked about it. They made sure to the best of their knowledge that they got it right. So a great job by this crew.
And for Long Island Lutheran, that's important because that's another 19 seconds, if I'm doing the math correct, that they don't have to worry about coming off the clock as they try to come back from a 10-point deficit. We
saw Curbelo coming to the bench, breathing hard. And he has put everything into this game. You see when he maybe makes a turnover happens on his team, he is full speed sprinting back to try and recover. It's not just on the offensive end. He is a two-way player that does not stop going.
A game-high 22 points, 3 of 6 from the free throw line. Inbound goes to Isaacs with the shot clock now down at 7. Key on the help. Isaacs. He needed that to get himself back in rhythm, lead to 13.
Big shot by Isaacs. He has kept shooting no matter what, whether he made them, whether he missed them. A lot of confidence in that stroke.
Curbelo wraps it around to Key, the easy 2.
I can't remember the last possession that Curbelo wasn't involved in, whether he was scoring or creating it for somebody else.
Let's see how much time Wasatch Academy uses. Leading by 11. Under 3 to go. Saunders to Richie Saunders. Curbelo up to get the rebound. Expending a lot of energy, finding Key, no call, and the finish. And they'll stop the clock to wipe up the floor. 4 in a row for the big man Key. Both baskets thanks to Curbelo assists.
They're gonna have to string these together. Get stops and scores and stops and scores to close this 9-point gap.
At some point, you've got to think the 3 ball's got to come into the equation, even though there still is somewhat of enough time. But someone's got to find the outside stroke at some point, as Curbelo takes that away. Scores on Isaacs.
Doing everything, Curbelo.
Drive from Mike Saunders. A quick score, but extends the lead back out to 9.
Defense can't give it up that easy on the backside. Even a foul might have helped, because what it turns into is a little bit of rest.
Claw check. Curbelo, what's the call? Gonna call a foul. That will go against Saunders. That's number 4 on him. And David Evans, Wasatch Academy head coach, was yelling for a travel several different times on that possession. Next one will get Long Island Lutheran the bonus. You can see Curbelo is tired. That ball goes off the bottom of the backboard, and Saunders has the loose ball. Saunders lobs it for Colomario. He doesn't put it in. 97 seconds left.
Great push by the lightning quick Mike Saunders, but they were almost going too fast on that one. If they were able to slow down, Colomario was able to settle, he probably would have got off a better opportunity.
Colomario grabbed Curbelo's arm right in front of the official, who just says, whatever. Curbelo, what a fight for Key with authority. They can take this down under a minute. Isaacs careful with it. Now the mismatch. Tough takeover, claw check, but Richie Saunders has done the little things. Clock rolling and a timeout.
That's teamwork right there. He saw Isaacs go to the hole. Richie Saunders just crept in there, untouched.
He has had at least 4 or 5 offensive rebounds, not all of them leading to points. That one did at the most needed time.
All his shots aren't going down. He's a great shooter, a great scorer, but he's finding other ways to affect this game and to help his team. And in that scenario, the biggest moment, Long Island Lutheran needed a stop there with under a minute and 7 points, but it turns it into, instead of a stop, into a 9-point game, and that could be the one. That could be the one that decides this.
You're looking at Oak Hill as they prepare for their semifinal against Jefferson. Tip-off a little delayed after this one concludes. We've had some good games throughout the day. That's set the schedule just a few minutes back. But Oak Hill has certainly sent this Iolani Classic crowd in a little bit of a stir over the last 3 days. We'll see them coming up in the finale. Nine-point game with the shot clock. Let's see. Curbelo may have a little bit more in the gas tank than he did before the timeout. What can they get out of this?
This is score and foul time. I don't think they can afford to let the shot clock play out. 30 seconds is too long with 50 seconds left, so they're going to need a score and get some misses after some fouls.
Curbelo gave it away, and he's looking at the official wanting the foul. Saunders for Colomario, and one. The double whammy, the turnover, and the foul on the other end, and that may have put it away.
Maybe a triple whammy here with the and one finish. Great drop off by Mike Saunders. Saw Klacek coming over and dumped it off to Colomario running that lane, and he finished it strong with the bump, with the hit.
Curbelo will have to hurry ahead. Pin zone from deep. Curbelo still with something in the tank. Can't square it up. Colomario's got the rebound. He is held by Key. Friendly little half hug. And the foul with 18.1 to go. And Wasatch looking ever closer at a spot in the finale tomorrow night. And there is the Jefferson Democrats on the opposite tunnel from Oak Hill. Getting loose, that is Nate Rollins-Kibonge right there leading that Jefferson charge. So they'll take the floor and get warmed up shortly. Key the rebound. Right around Lohner, no. Curbelo will try again, looking for Key. That's in, and a timeout call. With 4.8 seconds to go. Certainly hard to get 10 points in 4.8 seconds.
Yes, coaches, get your clipboards out. We all need a 10-point play in our bag. I've been looking for this one.
Maybe if we can find one, the NBA can use that to get some viewership back to their game. As you watch Long Island coach John Buck leading the conversation, clipboard in hand. Well, that's coaching.
No, it's still the preseason. You know, these teams are going to move on out of this tournament, and they're going to go back to their leagues, and they're going to play tough games, and there's going to be scenarios with 4.8 seconds that they're going to get a bucket. This is not clearly to win the game. This is to test execution, to see if they can run something, still get a bucket, or still get a great shot off, because they may use this later on when it really does count for them trying to earn a state championship.
Lohner, fouled by Jaden Reed. A little over a second running off the clock there.
And the reason why you try to do this is, of course, to improve yourself, but you don't get to do these types of things in practice against somebody that's really trying. It's scout, it's people on your own team. It's just a different type of feel. So to get in these scenarios, you really got to use them when you have them and try things that you won't be able to do against your home team.
Curbelo will launch. Almost went in. But Wasatch Academy turned the game around in the second quarter, and it turns into a 10-point win to head on to the championship matchup tomorrow night. 68-58, as Long Island Lutheran will play for third place tomorrow.